All right. Hey, everybody out there, YouTube land. It's your boy ExMan, aka CJ Kennedy. Thank you guys for returning back to my channel. Like I said, we're going to be doing a review on the Isovox 2 vocal booth. Um, yeah, that I bought, I want to say, almost a year and a half ago. Since having it, there has been some challenges, I want to say. Sorry, my voice is a little raspy today for reasons I don't know, but um, as far as owning it, it is like I said, it's a vocal booth. It does what it's supposed to do, as far as what they say it's supposed to do. As far as what I expected it to do, there was two different things, and so this video here is going to be addressing what people say it does versus what it actually does and what I feel it does. I will say disclaimer that if you guys don't agree with this, that's totally fine. I'm not trying to persuade people's opinion. This isn't a sponsor video. This is nothing like that. This is just my opinion on what I got and what I felt it did and what I expected to do, what it did not do, or what it did do. So just getting out the way. So to start off, let's talk about the pricing. When I first got it, it was $1,000. At least it retailed for $1,000. I think it may be a little different now, or maybe cheaper if you can find it used. But yeah, when I got off the website of Reverb, it was close to its original price for $1,000, but it was used, so someone knocked off probably like $50 or so. So it wasn't really too much expensive, but still, it was a lot of money. As far as the pricing, like I said, it is for what it's priced. I feel like it's not what it's supposed to be. And that my opinion on that is pretty much they advertise it as you can take it anywhere and have this studio quality isolation for your vocals. I want to say they market it really well geared to the people who don't really work in studios. So this is more so when they advertised it and they show it, these are people who, let's say, are geared to voiceovers. They're geared to voiceover, acting, singers, yes. Rappers such as myself, songwriters, yeah, I guess. But when they do like the advertising videos, subscription videos, they're just hear me out. They do not use this. I'm just gonna flat out say it. They actually record in an actual studio. They have vocalization. Then when they do the audio for it, they record a video of them recording in this and take the audio sample from the actual studio and overlay it so it sounds like, hey, we got this, vocal from the actual booth. We didn't. So, well, sorry, they didn't. But that's what I learned so far in research on other stuff. But because when I use it, it doesn't necessarily give me the vocal sound I'm looking for. It sounds really muffled, and I can EQ it, and that's fine. But once you get the settings right for your EQ, compression, all that stuff, it does sound a little bit like what it's supposed to do. But that's a little, they don't explain that to you when you first get it. They just say, oh, well, you can record from start to finish with this, outside the box, just put it together, and it's gonna sound like you're recording in this studio, $1,000 studio. I'm like, it doesn't. And it's sad to say that because they're marketing off that of you thinking, hey, it's gonna be a one and done fix for all your problems for reverberation, bad room sound, and all that stuff. Acoustic treatment is important when you're doing music production and sound recording, all that stuff. You need proper room acoustics. Even if you need to spend $1,000 or even more, it's worth it. Me per se, when I first started out, I'm on a budget. I still am. I'm not trying to break the bank, trying to redo my room, because nowadays people out here, unless you're actually making a living off this and actually make bank, you're not owning your home. You're like me right now. I rent. We rent this apartment, so I can't really do a lot of construction on the room. I can't really do any damage to walls, or I can't do that. That's not in my favor. That's why I got this. And so me getting that was like, okay, well, this should be my one and done fix, And when I first got it, I was sold under the impression that it was going to do that. And I want to say for the first couple months, I believed it until I start recording with it. Um, Second topic is going to be mic choice for this thing. Uh, they don't say it, but it's geared to a certain mic choice. There is the microphone that they made for it. I believe that's the ISO mic. I don't know if it's updated now, but it's up there. I have not tried it, so I can't really review that right now. But as far as what I've seen other people review it on, it's actually designed to go with the Isovox 2 vocal booth to not give a muffled sound, to not sound boxy, and that would probably be a better combination to go with this. However, nowadays, people are using a certain interface called the Universal Audio Interface, which is what I got. It's amazing, and I have I think it's called the UAD Sphere DLX, which I love. It gives you the emulation of all these famous microphones, which I could use and I love because I have 3 different mic choices I go with. I never used these mics in the past, but the only one I actually owned before was the Neumann U87 AI Black, matte black. I bought that, and that was my first actual big purchase microphone, which was, I think when I first got it, it was like $1,100, and oh, it was everything to me. I sold that to trade for the Slate ML1 back in the day, and when I had that, it sounded okay, but then I realized it didn't record in stereo, so I was getting a modeled sound that was not sounding spacious. And even though you can use EQ, plugins, compression, sound effects, reverb out, it just wasn't working for me. It wasn't working. That's how I got onto the UED Sphere. When I saw that, they said, well, it's has a dual capsule, so you can record both front and back of the microphone. So it gives you a uniform sound of space. So it's like 360, and that helps give you the open sound of, hey, your vocals are spacious. And I bought that, and I was like, you know what? It does what it's supposed to do. The only thing is, I'm recording in an open room which has no acoustic treatment, which is bad. So you have to work with what you got, which is the hard part. Being an engineer, a sound producer, a mix engineer, a recording artist, a self producer. It's you have to work with what you got, and that's just a sad fact. Now using the UAD Sphere with the Isovox, it does promote a problem, because that microphone, like I said, it's recording 360. So you put it in an enclosed environment that's supposed to isolate the front end of your vocals, because it's supposed to record you. Your vocal goes everywhere, so it goes to the sides, to the back, to the front. It goes all around in that enclosed environment. So the microphone's picking up everything, and so you're getting a lot of bass buildup from the enclosed environment going towards the sides and the back. So when you're recording, all that's getting fed back into the microphone, which I hate it, because I'm trying to record isolation from the front going in, so it's not picking up the back. You can adjust the pull up power of the microphone inside the Universal Audio Sphere microphone plugin, so you can do all that, but it still picks up the bass, which you have to EQ out. And when you do that, it gives you a really, I want to say, washed out vocal a little bit, because you're getting really bass, and so it's going to sound really high pitched, and it's like, you don't need that. At least for me. I try to work around it. I'm not trying to say you can't work around it, but you can. I just felt it wasn't necessary for me, because I don't need to be spending time doing this when I need to be recording and just having it done. Next thing I want to talk about, like I said, sound. When I first got this, it did what it's supposed to do. It isolates your vocals. It gives you an upfront sound to a degree. Now, to my degree, it wasn't doing it. In other videos I've seen, it does it for them, but the only reason why is because they're using certain plugins, they're using certain styles of compression, certain styles of EQ. They're using stuff that's processed before you hear it, and then send it out to your ear, and then it makes it sound like, oh well, this helped. If they did it without EQ compression, with just bare microphone, you would hear the bass. You would hear everything that's not supposed to be there, and then you would say, oh well, if it's supposed to do that, why would I want that then? And I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It's just they don't tell you what exactly it sounds like. They just want to make their money off it, which is, they got to sell a product, which I respect. Now, for what it does and for what they're marketing for, I I think it's a great buy for if you're willing to take the time to EQ, compress, really home in on mastering the sonics of it. Uh, it does record a dry vocal. I'm not gonna lie, it does do that. It just makes it really muddy, and you have to EQ it really well. Yeah. Design wise, I it's hit and miss for me, because like some days I'm like, I like the fact that I'm standing in a closed environment. Other days I'm like, I wish I could be sitting in this. Like, you can technically, but it's not designed to be, you sitting in a chair with this thing and close, because then you gotta adjust your seats, you gotta adjust the back of your seat, you gotta level the boom, the speaker stand to actually, do everything, and it's like, that's a lot of hassle. It's just a lot of hassle. But it's not a good or bad thing. It's just my preference is I like to record vocals sitting because I'm more comfortable. Now, I know a lot of people say when you stand, you get more, use of everything, your diaphragm, everything down here, and you can do more. That's true. I just prefer to record sitting down. Other than that, pretty much it is. I can't necessarily say it's an amazing buy. I can say, however, it's a buy. I can't say it's great. I can't say it's amazing. I can just say it's a buy. Because if you buy it for yourself, you will see. I have a different situation, and it didn't do what I expected it to do, but I'm working around it and trying to make the best of what I got. And what can I say? It is what it is. Not saying it's a negative thing. I'm just saying, for me, my situation, it just didn't hit. It just didn't hit a home run. It didn't at all. It did, however, do what it's expected to do on their end. On my end, it just gave me a little less of what I needed. Now, as far as I want to talk about the aesthetic, because it is aesthetically pleasing that it's designed like that. It's designed for you to be standing in the microphone to be enclosed in there with you. It's sound absorption. It's really good. I've tested it where it's like, hey, I'm rapping in it, I'm singing it. My brother and my sister, their rooms right next to me. They can't hear me. I'm at 3 a.m. singing, 4 a.m. rapping. Then again, I'm not rapping loudly, but I'm rapping in that enclosed environment. They can't hear me. And their room is like right next to me. Paper thin walls. They can't really hear. My brother's asleep. He's a heavy sleeper sometimes. Sometimes he's a light sleeper. He can't hear me. Just saying. So that's a plus. But that's one of the benefits. And I would say they did knock that part out of the park. But yeah, like I said, mic choice, it's geared to a certain mic. Price point, it's a little bit pricey, but if you're willing to spend money, I would say don't get this. Actually spend the money on actually getting acoustic treatment. 3, aesthetic, it looks good, and it's designed for what it's designed for. It's vocal isolation, which it does to a degree. They just don't tell you that it adds a lot of bass build up because you're in a closed environment, which is kind of like, if you do the physics and do the math, you will realize that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to do that, and they don't tell you that because they don't want you to say, hey, if it does this, why would I buy it when I'm supposed to get vocal isolation and not have that? So, yeah. This video is not going to be a really long video. It's just me ranting about my review on it. and I feel like there is a lot of subject I could have talked about it, but I felt like I got my main point of what I think about it, and I hope you guys like this video, share it, comment, and please subscribe to my channel. It helps me out. It doesn't do much on your end. It just helps me out and grow my channel. So if you guys can, please subscribe and share this video and comment. Also like it. It helps me out. So my next video will probably be more about my other piece of gear, my beloved Universal Audio interface, which is the Apollo 8P. So stay tuned for that. As far as this, peace out. See you next video.